Hey guys, what's going on? So the plan for today is to build a front receiver for my bumper. That way I can mount a winch on the front if needed. Now I like to have winches mounted on receivers like that rather than permanently mounted winches, mainly because where we live at, they salt the roads. So you get a lot of salt and corrosion in your winches, especially on the front if you leave them hooked up or permanently mounted. But the way that I like to do it is just to mount it on a cradle. That way I can put the winch on the front if I need it, put it to the back if I need it, or just store it if I don't need it. So what I have here is just like a receiver adapter that I bought at Harbor Freight. I got some 3/8" plate right here. The plan is to just build a backing plate for this, and then that way I can just mount the plate with the hitch right here, and I'll have just a front receiver. Also good because you'll have another pull point from the front, or an anchor point in the front as well. Now I'm going to attempt to cut this with my plasma cutter. I don't have my big compressor out right now, so I'm going to have to use a small pancake compressor. Hopefully we'll have enough air to cut it. It might take a little while because I'll have to stop and allow the compressor to catch up. Okay, I got it to fit in. It is a very tight fit, so I'm going to limit how many times I have to put it in and out. I'm going to clean it up a little bit on the grinder, and then I need to figure out where and how I'm going to mount this. The bad part about right here is this won't fit all the way through there, so I'm probably going to have that sticking out, which I don't like, but it is what it is. Okay, I got it welded up. I got gussets put in on all the sides. I got it in. I had to do quite a bit more cutting because it kept hitting on the top. The bottom's not square at all, but I don't think that'll matter. I might try to take it out and grind it as square as I can get it. But I'm gonna go around to the back side and mark the holes with a Sharpie, blow those out with a plasma cutter, and then find some bolts, make sure everything lines up right, and then I'm going to take it out and paint it, let it dry. It's still really warm, so it should bake in there, and then I'll install it. Okay, it's a little bit later. I had to come up to the shop because it got cold, and I didn't want to lay out in the cold and do this because I got stuff in my garage. But here it is, finished. The welds don't look too great because I've been using flux core. And honestly, most of the stuff I weld is just rusted up stuff anyway, so I tend to use a lot more flux core. But it'll hold, it's burnt in. So I'm gonna throw this in. I just went to Rural King and got some bolts. So I'm gonna bolt it up, and one thing that I am kind of concerned about is getting in behind here to put the pin in for the winch, but I think I'm going to be okay. Did I not get nuts? Okay, I don't know exactly where I left off at, but I went, when I was installing the hitch, I realized that when I went to buy nuts and bolts, I forgot to buy the nuts. So I went to my dad's shop and got nuts to finish the project, come back, and when I was installing it, the nuts and bolts, or the bolts rather, barely fit. So I had to wait till the next day, go buy all new nuts and bolts, and then now I got it on. That's what it looks like. The tag's behind it. Like I said before, I'd rather have a winch I can take on and off. That way, if I need it to put on the back, I can put it on the back, and I don't have it up front all the time. They salt the roads around here, and it'll ruin a winch. All the salt gets in the connections, even though these are supposed to be waterproof, they're not. It'll ruin your motor, it'll ruin your cables if you have a metal, especially if you have a metal cable. I have a synthetic rope, but it'll corrode metal cables. So that's why I like to have a winch that I can take off and put on. I also have hitches on my trailer, equipment, stuff like that, so I can move this to about anything that I own and use it as a winch. So that is the build video for this. As always, thanks for watching.